The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100, and get $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. Roster brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Head over to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com and use promo code MADNESS for 10% off orders of $40 or more. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, March 6th, currently 11:05 on the East Coast. Here to recap the weekend and get into the 6-game schedule in the association here tonight. But joining me, as usual, on these Monday episode, you guys know him as the villain, the superstar of the show. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, how's it going, my man?
Oh, I'm great. I'm living. I mean, I don't know about your favorite team. My favorite team had 2 nail-biter wins over the course of the weekend, and probably one of the I'll say top 10 greatest calls of all time by Mike Breen. Shout out Mike Breen.
Mike Breen, the double
Hey,
bang,
the
my
double
man.
bang, man. The double bang. Hey, Julius Randle got himself a double bang. Think of all the people that don't got a double bang. Like, there's only a small amount of people that have a double bang, and Julius Randle is one of them.
Yeah, incredible weekend for the Knicks. We'll get into it here. Well, let's get into it then here, Terrell. Aside from your team having a great weekend, my team is on a little 2-game winning streak. Mind you, it was against the Spurs, but hey, wins are wins.
Maybe one day you can amount to the winning streak that we have going on. Like, maybe. I think
Maybe.
that could be in the cards for you.
Maybe next season. But yeah, look, the Knicks, the hottest team right now in the association. They got victories over the weekend. Was it or not over the? They played Friday against the Heat.
Yep.
And then Julius
Sunday.
Randle, and then Sunday last night in the double overtime victory, where Emmanuel quickly was just the absolute monster. Now he is the odds-on betting favorite for 6th man of the year as of this morning. I think back in November, I saw a note on Twitter that he was around 500 to 1 to be 6th man of the year.
Is he really the favorite now?
He turned into the odds-on favorite as of this morning, right after last night.
I just know that, like, the first, what is it, half of the season, he was shooting like under 40% for the season. You know, he was struggling for a good half of the season. I think this is a little bit closer to what DeMar DeRozan was last year, where it was kind of lackluster beginning of the season, but he really turned it on. And during that span, he turned it on. He looked like an MVP candidate. Maybe he looks like a 6th man of the year right now, but I don't know if they're really going to give it to him for what seems like a month or 2 of work.
Yeah. I mean, right now I see a -170 for him to be 6th man of the year, followed by Malcolm Brogdon at +125. But I mean, again, he's really turned it up, or like you mentioned, over at least the past couple weeks, or even since post All-Star break, and even the past couple months. But last night, career high in minutes. I think he played 55. Also,
didn't sit after the second half. Played every single minute after the second half.
38 points, career high as well for Emmanuel Quickley. But it's your Knicks, man. Our 9-game win streak, I'm mistaken. They've won 9 in a row. They're up to the 5 seed now, 1 game behind number 4. But any other takeaways for your Knicks, man?
No, I mean, the Knicks are playing great basketball right now. And now they do some things where you're watching them and you're questionable of how they would end up in a 7-game series. There's no reason that game should have gotten to that point. Yep. I actually was coming out of the movie theater saying Creed 3, and I looked at the score and I said, oh, it's 174. Cool, bet. Like, I'm laughing at Boston, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, these guys suck. And I turn on the game, and as soon as I turn the game on, it's like 102, 101. And I'm like, hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. I know my eyes are deceiving me now. So there's that. They're going to have to clean that up. They're going to have to be able to finish games and not let it get to the point because, as somebody put it in the Discord, that double overtime is where dogs go to die. And so they
Mhm.
really, really gave them a chance to lose that game a lot of the time. And they were able to not pull that one out, but that's not going to happen all the time. And so the Knicks are going to have to do a lot better job of closing out. They're going to have to do a lot better job of playing out the half court
Mhm.
because a lot of those half court sets, especially towards the end of the game, they weren't even running plays. It was just like give it to the hot hand who was
Yeah.
quickly, but he
Mhm.
is also 50 minutes in the game by now. So I would have loved to see, hey, let's let Randall post up down low. It'll be a lot easier when Jalen Brunson is back. I think that's really the big takeaway of the game, the fact that they were able to do this without Jalen Brunson in the lineup. Because when you get into those last minute situations, all right, bet we trust a quickly in last minute situation. All right, bet we trust Julius Randle in last minute situation. We
Mhm.
trust Jalen Brunson in a last minute situation. I really hope they don't trust RJ Barrett in a last minute situation because he's always going to let you down in that note. But I think that the Knicks actually have something going on. And the more that I watch them and see them or what they're able to do here, makes me consider that, well, a first round matchup with the Cavs seems most likely of anything at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to necessarily say that they're out of it and not winning that matchup against the Cavs. Like, I think that's going to be a really, really good matchup. So it's going to be something to watch over the next couple of weeks and seeing who ends up with home court, whether the Cavs do or whether the Knicks do. But it looks like that's going to be the 4-5 matchup in the East.
Yeah, it was. I mean, one of the more exciting games of the week. I mean, yesterday we had some really good games on the schedule, but yeah, this was definitely one of them. But yeah, last night, like we mentioned, quickly had a career night. RJ Barrett chipped in with 29 points. Julius Randle, 47 minutes, 11 of 22 from the floor. He finished up with 31 points and 9 boards. Mitchell Robinson chipped in with a double double, 13 points and 14 rebounds. So hopefully the Knicks can keep this winning streak going and climb the Eastern Conference standings. Right, like I mentioned, they are one game out of the fourth spot in the Eastern Conference. Terrell, let's go to the matchup earlier in the day on Sunday between the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. This was an exciting game as well. Phoenix gets the narrow victory here, 130 to 126. And the Stars really just shined in this game, man. Both,
I'm really disappointed in myself. They should have made this the night game. I would have got this in. Oh,
yeah.
you
I
could have
mean,
just took all the
this is
stars for
SGP.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was SGP heaven. Even DeAndre Ayton still had 16 rebounds. Like,
Mhm.
this was SGP heaven. Just stars gonna star.
Yeah. Kevin Durant, 37, Devin Booker, 36. Like you mentioned, DeAndre Ayton had 16 rebounds. And then for the Dallas Mavericks, Luca, not very efficient from the floor. He was 17 of 19 from free throw line, but he finished up with 34 points. Kyrie, 10 of 19, 30 points for them. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench, 30 minutes. He logged 21 points, was 6 of 8 from beyond the arc in this game. But
Mhm.
this was exciting, man. What any takeaways from this game? At least I know the Phoenix Suns now are 3-0 with Kevin Durant since he made his debut.
Yeah, and I mean, Phoenix is about to be the most hated team in the league. Like, by far, they're about to be the most hated team in the league. And if the Mavericks could play a lick of defense,
hmm
I am very. I still have my, because we had the future show. I still have my plus 750 on the Mavericks to. I think it was. Can't remember if that was to win the NBA championship or win to the West. I think that's just to win the West at plus 750.
Yeah.
But man, they're not going to get there if they don't play defense. They're not going to get that far. And I think that this matchup is good because while the Suns are better defensively, the Mavericks have the offensive firepower to overtake that. And so this feels like the only team that can really go blow for blow, score for score with the Suns.
hmm
But are they going to be able to do it over the course of a 7-game series? I don't know. However, this seems like this seems like the matchup. If you're saying Phoenix is going to be out by any team in the West, it's Dallas. Dallas matches up very well offensively. Where as you can see, if Phoenix scores 130, they're right there with them. They're
Yeah.
just going to have to find a way to push through and get over that hump or get a stop when they need it. And ultimately, that's what yesterday was. They could never get the stop when they need it, and it was
hmm
always either miscommunication on the offensive end or Luka smoking the layup at the end that's really setting them back. But other than that, they can go blow for blow offensively. It's the defensive side of the ball. They got to find a way to get stops. And I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at, I mean, since Kyrie came over, they've been giving up 115, 120 plus on a consistent basis to the opposition. So, yeah, but like you mentioned, I hope we do get this. I tweeted this out yesterday. I hope we get this matchup in the playoffs like we did last year. I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
it's. I mean, it
uh,
could be the first round.
it
Like,
could,
yeah,
possibly will be.
this could be a 4-5, 3-6 matchup. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially, you don't know what Memphis has going on. Sacramento's closed the gap on Memphis. What if Memphis just kind of punts the rest of the season and says we're going to figure it out come playoff time? Like, you could see Phoenix move up there. You could see uh Dallas move up into the 5 spot. There's some shuffling around with
yeah,
the Clippers, with Minnesota, with Golden State. Like, this could very well be a first round matchup. And I think that's if you tell me this is a first round matchup, then I'm very hard pressed to find anybody else in the West that's going to beat these two teams after that. Like, that's going to be the
yeah.
ultimate consummate. That's going to be the ultimate confidence booster,
Mm-hmm.
playing a hard, gruesome matchup in the first round and then going to play who
Probably what,
L.A.,
LA and Denver, maybe.
Minnesota, maybe
Yeah,
Denver, like Sacramento.
yeah.
Like, you feel confident in your chances.
Yeah, I agree. So that was one of the more entertaining games yesterday as well. And then we saw the return of Steph Curry for the Golden State Warriors last night, but a hell of a victory for the Lakers, man. Being obviously without LeBron James, who's still going to be missing a couple of weeks at minimum. Anthony Davis
Hold up.
and uh,
We got to give Anthony Davis the.
Now that's how you supposed to shoot. From now on, that's how you shoot. Now that's how you supposed to shoot.
Oh my gosh, man. Dog, 14 for 25, 39 points. It's like, what days are you taking off where you're not doing this every single night? You have
yeah,
him almost every single night.
especially without LeBron. I mean, he's been the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, the prop bettors know how well Anthony Davis has been playing without LeBron in the lineup. He's had to, right? But 39 points last night in 38 minutes for Anthony Davis. Jared Vanderbilt chipped in with a double-double as well. He was 10 points, 13 rebounds for Vandy last night. Troy Brown Jr., I think low-key was the guy last night that was probably the difference maker for
Yeah.
the Lakers. 41 minutes, he was 4 of 7 from three-point land.
Yeah.
14 points and 8 rebounds in that game. And then Dennis Schroeder down the stretch defensively, if you're watching this game,
Yep.
he did an incredible job on Steph Curry. So it was a great team effort last night from the Lakers, beating the Warriors 113-105. Obviously, when Curry's coming back from missing almost close to a month, there is going to be some rust, but he still put in 27 points. He led the Warriors in scoring, but not an overall good shooting night for the Golden State Warriors. They were below 40% from the floor, but you're not worried about the Warriors when the squad is healthy, obviously being the defending champions. But yeah, it's a huge victory for the Lakers in confidence wise as well after coming off that loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they're right in the thick of it, at least trying to get into the play-in bracket without D'Angelo Russell and LeBron in the lineup. But anything else from this game here, Terrell?
No, I mean, really, the other thought is on the Warriors side of the ball. I know this is Steph's first game coming back, but man, you got to beat this Lakers team that's missing 2 starters, one of them being LeBron James. Like, you got to come out this with a win, and it's not helping your case of being 7-24 on the road. Like, you're 27-7. You have this. What's this? The third best home record in the West. And yet you're 7-24, and that's really what's killing you, and that's really what's pulling you to the bottom part of this bracket. It's because you can't get wins on the road, and there's no reason that, even though Anthony Davis probably could go out there and score 60, 70 by himself, and you can do nothing about it because you have nobody that can straight up guard him.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, dog, you are the defending champions, and you got to get this going. Like, he can't be the only person that essentially help wins the game for you. Like, you got to lock down everybody else. You have to have some type of mental aspect of going on the road and getting wins, because at this point it's all mental. You have to have some type of mental aspect of going on the road, getting wins. Luckily, this is probably the team that you want to have a trouble like that, because they are probably one of the the most veteran championship team in all the NBA. So you're just kind of hoping that they figure it out, but time is ticking, and you need wins.
Yep, I agree. All right. And then last night, the last game of the night. This was definitely a thriller last night between the Memphis Grizzlies and the LA Clippers. Clippers do get the victory 135-129.
You're welcome.
Yeah, shout out to Terrell lifting the curse. Or is the curse officially lifted or was it just for the one game, Terrell?
No, because I didn't want to. I wanted to sweat. Like I wanted to sweat. My Clippers didn't make the playoffs ticket, so I'm gonna release the curse and I'm gonna let them go and get a couple wins. Because at this point, if I let the curse stay on, they weren't gonna win another game, and they were going to the lottery. At this point, they were going to the lottery. They were gonna lose all the games the rest of the season. So I just wanted to give them the opportunity to get to the play-in. So I let them get a win here or there, but.
Yeah,
More than likely they're going to find themselves in that play-in because what the fuck was that?
Yeah. I mean, it was really the second half, which was really the telling story. 51 points the Memphis Grizzlies put up in that third quarter, which created a little bit of separation heading into that fourth quarter. But I think we got to give some credit to the Clippers for the way. I mean, they could have easily folded in this game and packed it up and win home. But Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, their stars, especially Kawhi Leonard last night, led that fourth quarter charge for the LA Clippers. They do come back and get the victory 135-129 in a game that has now been their first victory after signing Russell Westbrook. But obviously without Ja Morant,
Their first victory after I said they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go too. But Memphis was missing a lot of key guys in this game, and they were down 3 starters, but Tyus Jones stepped up in a huge way. He had a double-double, 25 points, 12 assists, 5 of 7 from three-point land. Desmond Bane, 30 points last night, 4 of 9. And I was pretty upset with myself because I missed the Luke Kennard revenge game last night. He chipped in with 15 points, 5 of 5 from three-point line.
Bro, it's just different. On the weekends, I'm thinking college basketball, so I'll let some stuff slip through me, but there's no way I should have let a Luke Kennard revenge game slip through me like that. 5 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, again, big night, obviously, or big night for Luke Kennard in his first game back against his former team against the Clippers in what's now called the Crypto Arena, whatever it's called now. But I don't know if we want to touch on the Ja stuff here, Terrell. If you have any thoughts or you want to get off your chest about that, I know Matt's asking about what's going to happen with Ja Morant now.
I just hope whatever rehab facility they sent him to that he has, gets the help that he needs. That's what they made it seem like. They made it seem like my dog was a recovering alcoholic and he has to go to a rehab facility like that. That statement was kind of, and then everybody keeps saying that, yeah, he's going to go get the help he needs. Like, oh my gosh, is he all right? Like, dog, he's just, flashing guns on the IG and, being a little extra. I don't think he needs to go to no rehab facility. That's what they made it sound like. Ultimately, come on, guys. We all know Ja's too good. Like, there's some people that, you can't do some stuff and your career's over. They're just going to get rid of you and move on to the next thing. But we all know Ja's too good. He'll be back. Only thing is that we don't know when he'll be back. And so until that, unfortunately, it makes Memphis like kind of a stay away from me because you never know what Memphis team is going to pull out, like show up. Is it going to be the third quarter Memphis team from last night, or is it going to be the fourth quarter Memphis team from last night? Have no idea which Memphis team is going to show up night in, night out without Ja. Normally they get wins without him, but this season's been a little bit different. So, we'll see. But for me, going forward until Ja comes back, especially until Steven Adams comes back, because I was looking at the game and I'm like, man, if Steven Adams is back, Paul George doesn't have 11 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard doesn't have 10 rebounds. Plumlee and Zubac both don't have 9 rebounds. They got out-rebounded 53-26. Yeah. 53-26 last night. Out-rebounded 53-26. Like, that is ridiculous. So they really, really need Steven Adams back. They need to figure out the rotation with Xavier Tillman. He's probably going to be stepping into that Brandon Clark role and trying to handle that. And then just don't let Dylan Brooks shoot the ball. But it's a lot of things that has to go right for Memphis right now. They are actually in a dumpster fire, and I just rather not bet their games entirely.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Terrell nailed it there that we don't know which team will show up, right? Is it going to be the third quarter Grizzlies or is it going to be the fourth quarter Grizzlies? And right now they're still in the 2 spot. They do, I think the one thing that they have going for them. They do have the easiest remaining schedule in the entire association in this stretch without Ja. Again, it was initially going to be 2 games, but then I think head coach Taylor Jenkins came out before the game and said he'll be away from the team indefinitely. So we'll definitely keep an eye on what's going on with Ja Morant, obviously with the Memphis Grizzlies on the court at least.
I really thought they were setting up for that Warriors rematch. When they said 2 games, I was like, oh, because y'all know you got the Warriors on national TV. That's why it's 2 games. I'm still hesitant to see if this actually gets longer than 2 days because, again, Warriors, national TV. Like, I think you want Ja for that game.
Yeah. Anything else from the weekend, Terrell? We didn't mention, or any other games you want to throw out there before we get into the 6-game schedule for tonight?
I can't even think of anything else. We talked about the big ones. I believe Bucks lost their losing streak. Come back, get a bounce back win. Now, what is that? 8-0-1 on back-to-backs.
Back-to-back, yeah.
Yeah, so still the back-to-back Kings, but they did lose to the 76ers 133-130 on Saturday. And what was a really defining win for the 76ers and probably their best win all season. I'm not going to lie to you. To be able to come back in the fashion that you did on the road and be able to get the win in that game, definitely one of their best wins all season.
Yeah, 100%. But not only do we give out dogs on the NBA pod, but we also do it for college basketball. Now, some of you caught our Nebraska money line pick over the weekend against Iowa. I will tell you, I don't know. Yeah, on the road too. I think that they swept that 2-game series this season. So, yeah, make sure you're paying attention to our Twitter accounts. We're giving out 4-1 or 5-1 money line dogs in the college basketball as they head into conference tournaments this week. But that was pretty much it from the weekend, man. I think it was a pretty good Sunday as far as hoops went. A lot of exciting games, but it's a new week. Yeah, 6 games on the schedule here tonight in the association. But before we jump into those games, let me tell everyone about our presenting sponsor, and that is going to be WynnBET. WynnBET is the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. WynnBET is active in a bunch of states. And there are a ton of ways to win, including live betting and same-game parlays, aka WynnBET's Build Your Own Bet. March Madness is almost here, plus plenty of ways to win getting down on the NBA, NHL, and XFL. Sign up today, receive a special offer, bet 100 and get 100. Limited state availability. And of course, for our DGens only, if you hit the longest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offers subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 20 years or older and present in a state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, Terrell, let's get into this 6-game schedule here in the association here tonight. We'll kick it off with the first game on the board. That's going to be the Boston Celtics after their double overtime loss, traveling to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers here tonight. This line opened up in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers at -2.5. That number's now been bet up all the way to -6.5. Total opened up to 220. That number's been bet down to around 218.5 in this game. No injury report yet for the Boston Celtics, obviously being on the back-to-back schedule here. But for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell is questionable here tonight, and Isaiah Mobley is on a 2-way contract for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But we talked about it with Boston. Terrell coming off of the double overtime loss, now headed to Cleveland to take on the Cavs. What are you thinking about this game? 6.5 right now for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, man. Are they? And you said you don't see officially anybody out. So they have to know somebody's going to be out.
So Robert Williams is out for sure. We know that. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, 7 to 10 days. But Malcolm Brogdon also, I think, popped up questionable. I know he obviously didn't play last night.
He didn't play last night, so he might go tonight. But, I mean, 6.5. When I was sitting there thinking about this spread last night, because I saw that Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart had 39, but Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, they all played 40-plus minutes last night. And Marcus Smart would have played more if he didn't foul out. And so I didn't think that this line was going to be 6.5 Cavs. Are you really? I mean, I know they had a double OT game. I get it. Are we really laying 6.5 with the Cavs over the Celtics? Like, I know I should talk Celtics more than anybody, but I think they're better than 6.5 on a back to back, even with double OT.
I think I think I gotta take Boston here, man. 6.5 seems a lot. I know. I think obviously the line number one moved because of the double overtime game last night. People were starting to bet Cleveland when the line opened as soon as they started going into overtime. Maybe I think Al Horford probably sits here tonight.
He's got to sit. There's no way
Yeah,
old man
he played a lot
Horford
of
goes
minutes
out
last
there.
night.
No way old man Horford goes out there and plays like that.
Yeah, but the Cavs the Celtics this season on back to backs are 7-2 against the spread as well. But I think my more favorite play in this game is probably going to be the under in this game at 219 and a half is what I mentioned. But I lean towards Boston here. I think 6.5 is a stretch. Again, like I mentioned, back-to-back games, they've been really good. But I think that, probably Al Horford sits here tonight, which doesn't work in their favor, obviously, when you're going up against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley here tonight. But I really do like the under this game. Boston this season, 20, 10, and 1 to the under in road games. Cleveland has been trending towards the under at home as well, very slightly, 18 and 16 towards the under. So yeah, in overall, both of these teams, or at least the Cleveland Cavaliers, are trend towards the under, 35-31 towards the under in this game. So, or on the season, I should say. But there's some other things that I did pull. But do you have any thoughts on the total here, Terrell?
Yeah. Did you say what Boston was to the under on back to backs?
They're actually trending towards the over at
Over?
5-3-1, but it's
5-3-1. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I kind of am leaning with you to the under, and just thinking that even if you know the good players still play good, it doesn't matter. Like these guys are still young. At the end of the day, they can still go out there and play a really good game after playing 40 plus minutes the other night. But it's everybody else. Al Horford, not expecting to see him and his contribution. You may or may not see Marcus Smart. I feel like Marcus Smart has sat a couple back-to-backs this season. You know, he's got nagging injuries that he's always dealing with. And then now you're kind of throwing the rotation off, throwing bench players into the starting lineup and getting them a little out of rhythm. Is Sam Hauser going to come in the game? And is Hauser going to be able to have, that stretch that we saw with him when people were out? I'm not sure. And so I think I liked it a little bit better with you to just go ahead and back the under and say that Cleveland is able to control the pace. Boston probably doesn't want to run fast. They already don't have the fastest pace in the league. They're hovering around 20 to 22 in terms of pace over the past 5 games. And so now you have Cleveland, who is absolutely going to slow the pace down, and Boston's probably going to let them. So yeah, I agree with you. I like that under 218.5, what I see it right now. And I think I like a first half Cavs. Like, I just want to get in and out with my money really quickly on a first half line with the Cavs, and say that they're able to start really, really strong and really, really test the Celtics team. Again, coming off double OT with travel. Last 10 games, Cleveland 6-4 to the first half number at home. Celtics, a little bit less than them, 5-5. I like my chances.
Yeah, I'll throw this one out there as well. If you're a trend player, Celtics on the season in road games when their opponent has a win percentage of above 500, 11-2-1 towards the under. The only 2 games that did go over did go into overtime. So Celtics on the road against a better or a team that has a record above 500, 11-2-1 towards the under, and those 2 games that did go over did both go into overtime. So something to keep in mind.
And I really, really like that under.
Yeah, player props in this game, Terrell. What do we got?
All right, Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum both gave 40 last time.
Donovan Mitchell is official questionable. Let me throw that out there.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm just gonna stick with my guy, and if you tell me that Al Horford's not in the lineup, he's going to have a little bit less size going with them. We'll see what they do at Grant Williams. Maybe they limit Grant Williams minutes. If they do limit Grant Williams minutes, that's more size against them. So Evan Mobley, I think he still has another good day. I told you they have him in the game plan and they're making sure that he gets looks. So Evan Mobley over 16.5. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. 2 games this season against the against the Celtics. I'm sorry. He had 12 points and 13 rebounds and 15 and 7. But like Terrell mentioned, this is already the 4th game this season between these two squads. He had 19 and 10, 15 and 7, and 12 and 13. But he's been more heavily involved in the offense. Like he's been getting a lot more shot attempts as well. If you kind of just look at his game log, he's all the way up to around 15 attempts per game. And he's had double in back-to-back games as well for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And these two teams just recently matched up last Wednesday, Terrell, where Boston got the victory 117-113 on their home floor. So now Cleveland looking to return the favor on their home floor. I like that Evan Mobley call. Maybe, again, Jared Allen rebound prop. Obviously, if
no Grant Williams, if you don't, and if you don't have Al Horford, because I mean, you're not getting Robert Williams. Grant Williams might be, less minutes than normal, and then you have freaking Al Horford. Probably, I really think they should sit Al Horford. And if Al Horford goes out there after playing 40 plus minutes the night before, I feel very, very confident about whoever is matched up on him on the boards and just being able to give more effort than he is.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All right, anything else for this game?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, let's move it on to the next game of the night. It's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers headed to Indiana to take on the Pacers here tonight. This line opened up in favor of these Philadelphia 76ers at -7. That number's been bet down half a point to -6.5. That's consensus right now. Total opened up at 233. The number's been bet up to 233.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Philadelphia 76ers, Tobias Harris and PJ Tucker are both questionable here tonight. I did see a note that both of those guys did not participate in shoot around this morning and remain questionable. Pacers did play last night against the Chicago Bulls in Chicago, so they are in a travel situation here, but they did get the victory there, 125-122. This is going to be the third matchup here, Terrell, from between both of these teams, and I believe the Sixers have won both of those games so far this season. I know one was without Joel Embiid in the lineup, but again, 120-106 back in October, and then January 4th of this year, 129-126 victory for the Sixers. That was a game without Joel Embiid, but right now, let's call it consensus 6.5 here, Terrell, for the Philadelphia 76ers in Indiana tonight. What do you think?
Is there any fear of a letdown spot?
No, I think if it was a back-to-back situation, maybe then, but since they've had a day off in between the games, I think that they're more focused now. And then again, they did see Boston lose last night, where they can, they
need a winning
game
streak,
on them.
man.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last time that, we're really talking about Philly with like a real, like, this is going back to when they had that one good, a good month where they were like 22-7 or something like that, like something crazy. Other than that, it's been kind of up and down for them recently. And so I think that this is a good opportunity. I understand why everybody's betting Indiana, especially after Indiana going and getting that win on the road in Chicago, where somehow they were 5.5 point dogs on the road. Like, I get you're on the road, but it's Chicago. And now you got this line down to 6.5. I think that we can get some closing line value here. Everybody's betting Indiana. They keep dropping the line, but I think that this is just the 76ers are just too good of a team. Ultimately, I think that they're just too good of a team to be able for Indiana to keep up with for 4 quarters. Can they make it interesting in the first half? I think so. But in terms of an entire game, I think that is something where Philly can battle back and be able to go out and get a really nice win here on the road. I can see them winning by 7-8 points. I think that the opening line was right. And so now that the line fell, all the money is on Indiana. I'll take my chances with Philly.
Yeah, Philly haven't been too bad on the road. I mean, 15-14 overall, but they are 9-7 against the spread as a road favorite. I know Indiana has been good at home as well. They're 20-13 against the spread and 14-8 as a home underdog. But I just feel like this Philly team,
that 26-18 as a favorite is really, really calling me for Philly. 26-18 as a favorite.
Yeah,
like you're winning, and Philly's not out here just getting short numbers all the time. Like they are winning some of these games by margin. And that's going to be, it's really like, what's the saying? The sword that can pierce anything, or the spear that can pierce anything, and the shield that can't be pierced. Like you have an underdog who covers whatever underdog number you throw at them, which is the freaking Pacers. Then you have Philly, who's able to go cover whatever large spread you throw at them.
Yeah.
And so everybody playing in this game, I think that the defensive woes for the Pacers are going to be a little bit too much, and they're not going to be able to keep up. Even if Tobias Harris doesn't go, I still think offensively that Maxi's probably going to be in the starting lineup again. That's just going to be a lot to handle.
Yeah. I think that if both PJ and Tobias don't go, it hurts them more defensively, because I think they have enough offensively between James Harden, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey stepping into that starting lineup.
Oh, and speaking of, how good was it to see James Harden playing like that this weekend?
James Harden's starting to look like the James Harden of the Rockets, at least health-wise. I kind of said this all season. He's obviously not having to put up the numbers that he did when he was with the Rockets, when you have a guy like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on your roster. But if you guys just look at his game, his game log for what he's been able to do over the past, I don't know, month or so, especially even after the All-Star break, he's been really good. I'll say the player prop that I like for him when we get there. But Indiana on back-to-back situations here, Terrell, 6-6 against the spread, and they're 8-4 towards the over in back-to-back games as well. So definitely keep that in mind. So let's I agree with you. I do like the Sixers here tonight as well. Total here sitting at 233.5. I like the over in this game, but what are your thoughts about the total?
I think I like the over as well, just because I really don't know if Indiana defensively is going to be able to handle all the options that Philly can throw at them, and the amount of the court that Philly can cover, because Philly can cover a large amount of the court. You have to worry about Joel Embiid in the post. You have to worry about you might not see PJ Tucker or Tobias Harris in this game. So guess what? That's going to be a Paul Reed sighting. You're going to have to worry about him down low when the second unit comes out. And that's going to be really, really annoying. And then you talk about the outside shot. If James Harden is still shooting the ball like he was, add that with Tyrese Maxey, Melton, Shake Milton, what everybody is able to do from three for the 76ers, that's going to be really, really tough to overcome. Like really, really tough to overcome. And I think that it's going to be a lot of points on the Sixers side, and then the Pacers trying to keep up.
Yeah, I think, I was going to mention, let me mention these numbers, these stats first for the Sixers on the road. So overall, 35-27-1 towards the over for the Sixers. They're 17-12 towards the over on the road this season, and then 11-5 towards the over as a road favorite. I already mentioned the number for Indiana on back-to-back situations. I think that I may pivot to a Sixers team total in this game. They put up 120 in both of the games in regulation. I know one of the games went into overtime, and that number is sitting exactly at 120 here tonight. But I think we'll see a little bit more pace in this game. Philly, again, if they figured it out offensively, Maxey has been really good. You touched on James Harden, and we know Joel Embiid is going to get his here tonight as well. So, I like the over with you as well. I think we're in agreement there. I like the Sixers.
Yeah, and Pacers still not no hoes now. They're shooting 50%, 40% from three over the last 5 games. So they're still able to score the ball a lot as well. I think this is going to be a really good game, and they're going to test Philly a lot. But I do think that there's going to be an issue when it comes to fourth quarter and when it comes to crunch time, and just the amount of stops that the Pacers are going to get to blow this cover.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some player props here. Anything that you like in this game?
Let's go with. I can't get off of James Harden assists right now, man. I have concerns on the defensive side of the ball in this game for the Pacers, and 10.5 at plus money. I'm getting plus 105 for him to get to 11. I hate that, especially, and I feel like that's how the script is. Like James Harden has a really, really good day scoring the basketball, everybody tries to hop back on James Harden scoring, and then he comes out here and he throws 14, 15 dimes and against the Pacers, who, you can really you can get a pick and roll option with Joel Embiid very easy there. You can target them on the perimeter. They've had issues guarding the perimeter all year where they'll just leave wide open shooters out on the perimeter, and that's other people for them to look towards. Yeah, I like James Harden assist over 10.5 at plus money. That feels very good.
Yeah, throughout the last four matchups, James Harden has gone over 10.5. He's had a lot last season, going back in the two April games, he had 14 and 14. The first game this season, 11 assists, and then the last matchup, he only had 8 assists, but that was again a game without Joel Embiid in the lineup. I do like his points prop here tonight, Terrell. It's at 22.5. Maybe a little square here tonight, but we talked about it with James Harden starting to look like, he's healthy, number one, and he's looking like the James Harden that we saw with the Houston Rockets. Two matchups this season against the Pacers, he had 29 points and then 26 points. And as of recently, he's been on fire as well, shooting the ball very well from beyond the arc, from 3-point line. He's at 46.3% over the last 5 games. And then he had a 38-point performance against the Bucks, 27 against the Mavericks, 23 against the Miami Heat. So 3 straight games he's gone over this number. So I'll back Harden here tonight. If you're a DFS guy, maybe you want to put him in your DFS lineup here tonight as well. But and again, like you mentioned, he's gotten the assists in this last several games. He did have 10 assists in the game against the Bucks, but 13 against the Mavericks, 12 against the Miami Heat as well. In a couple games after the All-Star break. So yeah. Anything else for this game?
Yeah, let's go to Tyrese Maxey, and let's do a prop that a lot of people aren't really looking at, but let's take Tyrese Maxey over half a steal in this game.
Sure.
I'm saying that at let me see. Oh wait, that's block. But that is at minus 175 right now. So you're definitely laying some juice with it, but last 3 games, he has a steal in all 3 of the last 3 games. 2 matchups against the Pacers this season, he has a steal in both of those games. And just think about how Tyrese Maxey plays. Like, he's a very quick guy, very quick with his hands. He's getting in the passing lanes. He's going out there trying to get transition buckets. So, yeah, I like Tyrese Maxey to come out with over half a steal in this one.
I think there's a good SGP opportunity in this game if we do like the over, like Harden assists with Joel Embiid rebounds, and then you could throw in the steals in there as well for Maxey, like you mentioned. Also, did mention this James Harden 3-pointers. It's at 2.5 at minus 145, but he's hit 3 or more in 4 straight games on the season, and then against the Pacers this year. Let me just double check that. He's hit 2 in the last game. He was 2 of 8, and then 5 of 10 in the first matchup this season. So if you're a same game parlay player, maybe there's some options for you to throw in a parlay there for this game. But anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's get over to the next game of the night. Let's go to the Motor City. We'll go with the Portland Trailblazers in Detroit here tonight to take on the Pistons. This line opened up in favor of the Portland Trailblazers at minus 5.5. Still do see some minus 5.5s out there. Do see some minus 6 out there as well. Total opened up at 230.5. That number's been bet down to 229.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Detroit Pistons, Bojan Bogdanovic is going to be out for this game. Jalen Duren is also out for this game. Then you have questionable tags. Also, Isaiah Stewart. So Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, and then Bogdanovic are all out. Questionable tags on Killian Hayes and James Wiseman. Portland knows injury report submitted yet because they did play last night. I believe that was against Orlando. So they're in a back-to-back travel situation here, going from Orlando up to Detroit. But Portland did get the victory yesterday, 122.
You're gonna get sick. NBA don't be caring about these players. That's how you get sick. I was in Orlando the day before, and now I'm in Detroit. Oh my God. That's really why y'all be wondering why these little illnesses be going around these locker rooms. It's because the NBA be sending people from the hottest environment to the coldest environment. It make no sense. I hope they wearing their coats up there, and they wore their coat in Orlando too. They gonna be sick.
You got me wondering now what the temperature is right now. So it's 83 right now in Orlando, and then
I
in
bet you. Watch it.
Detroit,
It's under 50. It's under 50 in Detroit. Watch.
42.
I knew it. I knew it. That's ridiculous. Are you serious? That is ridiculous.
It's almost chopped in half.
Oh my gosh. That is insane. And in 24 hours, I'm going to this. Sickness, just sickness.
Yeah, so no injury report submitted yet for the Portland Trailblazers, but I believe they will be without Anthony Simons. Nurk continues to be out, but obviously you have Dame, Jeremy Grant, those guys still in the lineup here tonight. But Terrell, let's start with the side here. Portland laying 5.5 on the road here against Detroit. What are you thinking?
I mean, you found out the hard way.
I did.
You did. You found out the hard way. I don't know why you are fading this Pistons team when they have their people playing. Right now, they are 3-2 after the All-Star break. But notably, the 2 games, they were missing the most players that they did not cover. And so it's simple. If the Pistons got their guys playing, aside from Killian Hayes, if he's missing, I'm perfectly fine with that. No complaints here. You are not getting me on Killian Hayes being in the game and that being an actual handicap. But if you still got Wiseman in this game, I guess you could still have Magruder. He's still a pretty decent depth piece. Bojan being out is really the thing that is going to be questioning me, but I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to trust it. And I'll take the Pistons, man. I'm seeing some reverse line movement here on the Pistons. I like this Pistons team in the second half of the season. I do. They're scrappy. They were scrappy in that Cavs game for like a half. Even without everybody, they were scrappy for like a half. And it's because they're a young team. They're a young team that wants to go out there and prove that, hey, we can play in the NBA. And so now when you're getting into the second half of the season and everybody's looking down on you because we are 60 games in and you have 15 wins, nobody's taking you serious. So the combination of the other team not taking you serious and you taking the game ultra serious, like these young guys go out there and they really, really try to hoop. So Bojan sucks. Like Bojan not being out sucks. But if I still got Wiseman and I still have the size that they have, Wiseman, Stewart, Durant.
Stewart's out tonight.
Okay.
So it'll be Stewart and Bagley probably.
Stewart and Bagley are out or they're playing?
No, Stewart is out, but it'll be Wiseman is questionable. Bagley is in.
Bagley is in. Okay. So that's really like 2 of them solid bigs. I need at least 2. I would love to have 3. But I need 2 of those bigs because that's where you beat Portland. You beat them on the glass. You beat them down low. They don't have the size without Nurk. They didn't really have the size with Nurk, if you want to be honest. And so it's going to be the Jaden Ivey show. And if Jaden Ivey can will this team to making this at least a close game, but I still am hard pressed to fade Detroit in the second half of the season. Like they still got too many players that I think are actually playing for next year and playing to make sure that they have a roster spot next year for me to just go ahead and fade Detroit now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fade Detroit here tonight. It's just taking monumental efforts from Damian Lillard for this Blazers team to get like 2 3-point victories. I think last night was a classic example of that as well. He didn't have a great shooting night, did Damian Lillard against the Orlando Magic, but he did still get 41 points. Again, that was 20 trips to the free throw line where he knocked down 17. But even after a 41-point performance, they still only won that game by 3 points. I know Jeremy Grant chipped in with 20 points, but after that, there's not much consistent help for the Portland Trailblazers here tonight. And I'm not saying they're going to absolutely shut down Damian Lillard here tonight against this Pistons team, but I just feel like this is a big number here for even a Portland Trailblazers team that, despite the Pistons not having a lot of their guys in the lineup here tonight, I still feel like you've mentioned, there's enough guys for them to, keep within this number or even possibly get the outright victory. I know they are one of the teams like the Spurs and the Rockets that are trying to secure that number 1 pick, but you mentioned I learned the hard way with the Chicago Bulls, where they looked like they were going to cover the game, but in the second half they made a push. They didn't lay down, and they have young guys on this team that are so hungry and go out there and competing. So I'll go Detroit here plus the 5.5, plus the 6. Again, definitely shop around for the best number. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell? That number is currently sitting at 229.5.
If Wiseman doesn't go, I'll pivot off of Detroit. I think that's my last.
Okay.
If Wiseman doesn't go, that's too many people out. But you give me Wiseman, then I still like their chances to keep this within 6. Total. I think I like the under, and I'll just pivot more to a more inefficient night back to back for Portland. It's not really that, anything defensively Detroit's probably going to do, even though I do think that the size that Detroit has, they do have some rim protection, and that'll be able to save them a few points here and there. But really, just more the inefficiency of making Portland have to shoot a lot more jump shots in this game instead of getting to the rim, instead of doing anything like that. Like I said, I think that Wiseman and Bagley both playing for the future. Like two guys that are definitely playing for the future. And how do you stay on the court? How do you keep yourself in this league is by playing on defensive end and at least getting in the lane and making it tough on guys. So I think that tougher shooting night for Portland. Can't trust Detroit with Bojan out to go out there and put up a whole bunch of points. That's 20 points per game. That's just gone right there. So can't depend on them all the time to put up a bunch of points. I think that this is an under game.
Yeah, I agree with you. The crazy, or not the crazy, but I think the thing that kind of jumps off the stats page at least is that post All-Star break, Detroit Pistons number 5 as far as defensive rating in the entire league at 109.5. Just haven't been able to get it done offensively, but defensively, I think it's what you mentioned, right? They have that rim protection now with Bagley and James Wiseman, and those guys have been almost getting double doubles every single night for the Detroit Pistons, and really limiting the second chance opportunities for the opposition. So, yeah, I like the under in this game here as well. Let's transition over to some player props in this game.
And real quick, non-conference game, but you have Portland in the non-conference games. Typically an over trend, they're under 9 and 15 in non-conference games in terms of to the over. So 15 and 9 to the under. Detroit 13 and 13, 50% both ways.
Yeah, there you go. Revenge game here, maybe for Jeremy Grant being back in Detroit after, I think it was the trade. Now over to the Portland Trailblazers. Jake pointing that out. I know Jeremy Grant put up 36 against this team when Detroit visited Portland. So right now I'm currently seeing that points prop for Jeremy Grant at 22.5 here, Terrell.
What did he do from 3 that game?
Let me see. Grant versus Blazers.
Well, not
against the Pistons.
Pistons, yeah. I'm just because if Bagley and Wiseman,
5 of 8.
5, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Like they had a lot of size on the inside for the Pistons, and Grant's not going to want to have to go toe to toe with that every single possession. That's a quick way to tire yourself out for over the course of the game. But if he can pull one of those guys to the outside, because more than likely they're going to be, one of them is his primary defender. So if he can pull one of those guys into the outside and hit a bunch of threes, I like his chances. So yeah, I think I like Grant. If we go ahead and back the Grant revenge game, I think we go back to his threes tonight.
2.5 is at plus 125.
Yeah, hit 3 last night, 3 for 8.
5 and 9 against the Pelicans.
Yeah, and he still took 6 attempts against the Hawks. Like he still had 6 attempts, so he was 1 for 6, 1 for 8 against Golden State. Like he has the attempts with not Wiseman, but with Simons out. Yeah, he has the attempts. And he just gotta. If he makes it, we have a really good day. So yeah, I'll take my chances with Grant threes today. I think that game wise, that's the script that I would go with.
Points prop for him is sitting at 22.5. Yeah, I think you can go either way. Jake, I think you can take either his 3-point shot like we just talked about or over 22.5 here tonight. A couple other comments. Dame 30. I mean, his points prop is up to 36.5, and that's at minus 130 right now, Nick. So, I mean, if you want to, maybe put that 30 plus in a same game parlay or player performance double, he's definitely going to get over 30 here tonight. Our guy Delonte checking in as well, talking about Bagley and Wiseman double parlay. Blazers horrible on the glass and undersized on the interior. Yeah, that's pretty much just what we just talked about here.
Yeah.
As far as their advantage inside the paint with either guy. I know Wiseman is questionable here tonight, but I think Bagley, if he does get the start, he should have another monster game on the boards for the Pistons. Anything else in this game, Terrell?
No, I'm good. Just if Wiseman plays, I'm sprinkling on that Pistons money line. That's really my last thing. Bagley and Wiseman, I just think that's too much. Like this could be a very lopsided rebounding battle, and that's gonna kill the Blazers.
Yep. All right, before we continue here, let me tell you guys about a new sponsor here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. They are called Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within the 30-day window. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. So, exclusively only for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off on 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's 50% off on 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses by using promo code SGPN. Try for yourself the shades and rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. That's again, shadyrays.com. Use promo code SGPN. All right, so what we'll do here, we'll break here for part 2. We'll get to the final 3 games in part 2 here. So definitely get over to part 2 for the final 3 games of the NBA schedule here. So again, part 1 here, but then we'll come out with part 2. All right, Terrell, let's keep the ball rolling here, my man. 3 more games on the NBA schedule. We have the next game. This is going to be a big game here tonight. It's going to be a good division game here. We got the Atlanta Hawks in South Beach here tonight to take on the Miami Heat. This line opened up in favor of the Miami Heat at -3. The number has pretty much stayed the course at -3. Total opened up at 227. That number's been bet up to around 229. Do see some 229 and a halves out there as well. Taking a look at the injury report for the Atlanta Hawks here, pretty clean injury report. Everybody is healthy. For the Miami Heat, Kyle Lowry continues to be out. Kevin Love is probable here tonight. Omar Yurtseven is probable tonight as well. And everybody else is go. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, all those guys are going to be. Bam Adebayo, all are playing here tonight. These 2 teams just did match up. I believe it was on Saturday where the Heat did get the victory in Miami. I believe it was. It was a 117-109 victory for the Miami Heat. But Terrell, in this game, man, the guards really did struggle for the Atlanta Hawks. I think that was really the difference in this game. Trae Young finished that game up shooting 2 of 13. DeJounte Murray 3 of 14. Those 2 guys combined go for 5 of 27 from the floor, 0 of 10 from three-point land, and combined for only 18 points in that game. And also, John Collins struggled in this game as well. I think he was in a lot of foul trouble in this game, but he finished up the game only playing 16 minutes. He only had 3 points and 1 rebound. Really, it was the bench that kind of kept them in the game, but ultimately it was that second quarter that was the difference in this game for Miami, where they outscored the Hawks 37-23. But Atlanta, hopefully getting a better effort here tonight from their starting guards here. -3 right now is the line for this game. What are you thinking?
I hate when I have to choose between two evils of the Hawks on the road or laying the points with the Heat at home. I feel like that this should be against the law. I should never have to make this decision. These two teams should never be put in a situation where I have to make this decision. I'm going to just go with the back-to-back game set and just say that I'll take the team that lost the last one. Don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, don't like it at all. But I'll take Atlanta +3, and it's really not a handicap for this one. I mean, I don't feel comfortable laying points with the Heat. It's not too many times that you could sit here and say that you take the Heat laying points at home, and they're able to go out there and get a win for you or cover the number. And sometimes we've seen this Heat team lay 3 points at home and go out there and win by 1. Like,
Yeah.
that is just a trend that I just will not buck. And there's not too many times that you'll see me laying points with the Heat at home. But this Atlanta team, they got something to play for. They're starting to figure things out. Quinn Snyder in here as head coach. We'll see what Trae Young looks like in this game. It seems that he's kind of been up and down. We're seeing I don't trust his shooting with that shoulder. It's clearly something is wrong with him, but he's going out there and trying to hoop.
Yeah.
And then you have DeJounte Murray, who every other game, it feels like he wants to go drop a 30-piece randomly. Like, just randomly just drop a 30-piece out of nowhere. And so I like the length for in this game. Hopefully they don't, because everybody, you look at this starting lineup outside of Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. That's a lot of long arms. That's a lot of reaching into the passing lanes and just understanding what the fuck is going on with Miami. Like, what is really going on with Miami? Like, is Miami a team that you can sit here and you can trust night in, night out? They got a win last game. Do you trust them to get another win tonight? Like, I just don't know what to make of this Miami team. And I think Scott was talking about it. Hey, maybe we should start looking at Hawks futures to win this division because Miami just keeps finding ways to blow it.
Oh, my bad. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't.
No, I was just clearing my throat, but you're good. Yeah, I was looking this morning at the division odds. Let me pull that up while you finish your handicap.
No, that's really it. I don't like laying points and I don't like taking the Hawks on the road, but unfortunately you guys are making me pick one, so I'll choose the lesser evil and I'll take the team that's catching points.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go with Atlanta here tonight. I think they get the job done. I think they get the victory here tonight. Right now, Atlanta is +360 to win that Southeast Division.
They're only a half a game back. One and a half game back. And if they win this game, that makes them a half game back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they know that this is a big game if they obviously want to win this division. They're still in the playoff race here. Miami sitting at number 7. Atlanta is at 8. And, like Terrell just mentioned, they're 1.5 games out of that division lead for the Southeast Division. Also, I want to mention this as well. Joe Osborne, a Vegas insider, dropping a great nugget for this game. So the Miami Heat have played a span of 24 games where they haven't covered the spread in consecutive games. They're 0-7 against the spread after a cover during that stretch. So what that pretty much says is that they're not covering
2 games in a row.
Yeah,
I would just sit here and tell you that if the Heat covered their last game as a favorite, they're probably not going to cover their next game as a favorite. They're just, know, the numbers and being under 50% prove that there's too many times where they just don't cover multiple games as a favorite. So I don't know, man. I'm not trusting this Heat team. I just think that there's something wrong with this team. I can't even blame it on injuries because they've got it done with injuries before. It's just something is just not right with this team right now. And they're on a baseball schedule. They have a 2-game set against the Hawks right now. Next 2 games, another 2-game set against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they're just playing baseball right now. They're not even playing basketball. I'm good on Heat.
Yeah, I'll take Atlanta here tonight. I think this is probably my dog of the day, possibly. But, I mean, Terrell laid out the numbers of how bad this Miami team is at home. And, again, that kind of back-to-back miniseries where usually the team that wins – first game, we'll see that second team, win the second game. But, and again, like I mentioned, the numbers between Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, in that first game on Saturday where they just weren't very good. I expect them to definitely play better here tonight. And like Terrell also
At
mentioned,
least DeJounte Murray. I don't know about
Yeah.
Trae Young, but at
Yeah.
least expect DeJounte Murray. I'm
at
telling
least
you,
one guy to show up.
I'm telling you, it's like every 2 to 3 weeks or so that I'll just be sitting here minding my own motherfucking business. And then a notification comes across that DeJounte Murray had 30, 40 points. And I'm like, oh my God, bro. It's like, why was I not on this? And it just happens. It's like a 2-3 week span. He just comes out here and he just randomly drops like 40.
Yeah. All right, let's get over to the total 229.5 currently. What do you think?
I'm going to roll with the over. Last game went under. I expect to see a little bit more adjustments. Like you said, I think that offensively the Hawks are going to be a lot better than what they were in that previous game in terms of scoring the basketball and, just not succumbing to this Miami Heat defense. They shot, 46.8%. They were 9 for 30 from three. That's 30%. Like, that's even bad by their standards. So I expect them to be able to make a couple of more of those shots and send this one a little bit over. It went under, but not by much. I think it actually went under by the hook last time. Yeah, total came in at 226, and the total was at 226.5. So I like our chances run over.
Yep. I was looking at these trends here right now for the Atlanta Hawks on the road, 20 and 13 to the over. Miami has been a team that not too much to the under, 15 and 17 overall towards 17 and 15 towards the under overall. They are 14 and 15 towards the over as a home favorite. So, yeah, I think that, I'll lean with the over. Don't love it, but I think my more favorite play in this game is the Hawks for sure. Player props in this game, Terrell, what are you thinking?
I think I want to go back to DeAndre Hunter. Is his three still at 1.5?
DeAndre Hunter's threes for tonight. I see that number 1.5 at plus 105.
Yeah, I think I want to go back to that. Last game, one for 4. And what we know was a terrible offensive game for the Hawks. He was 1 for 4 last game, but you look at the couple games before that, he hit this number in 3 of the last 4, 2 for 4 versus the Portland, 2 for 5 versus Washington, 2 for 2 versus Brooklyn. He's starting to put up the attempts, and Miami, as we know, Miami's going to let you put up attempts. They've been kind of questionable guarding the 3 all year. And DeAndre Hunter has a size advantage. Like, he has a size advantage over a lot of the people that are going to be guarding him in this game. So I think that DeAndre Hunter getting open from the corner and hitting a couple of knockdown threes at plus money, I like taking my chances on that. And for him to get back on the snide and hit another 2 this game. So that's one of the my off the wall prop. Well, I wouldn't say off the wall, but one of my props that I was looking at, DeAndre Hunter over 1.5 threes.
Yeah, can't talk you off of that one for sure. He's been one of the more consistent guys for the Atlanta Hawks as well, at least, both on the defensive, offensive side. But Clint Capella, I was looking for his rebounds here tonight. Last game, the only problem with Capella is that his minutes are only around 25 per game. He did have 13 rebounds on the matchup on Saturday, but yeah, nothing else really kind of stood out to me as far as player props. Not sure we're going to get from both DeJounte or Trae Young here tonight. I know somebody in the comments mentioned the.
I'm with Fate and Trae Young. Yeah, somebody said Fate Trae Young. I'm with Fate and Trae Young. He struggles in these sets, and they know that Trae Young is their guy. Like, they know Trae Young is their guy, and that's the scoring. He had, what was it, 8 that last game, 24 in the game before that. He had a 22 in the game before that against Miami in 3 games, Miami. So what's that, 8, 24, 22? His line's at 23.5, minus 108.
He hasn't shot the ball in any of those games.
Yeah, at all. And he's shooting 42% on the year. Like, I know I come up here and I clown Russell Westbrook for his shooting percentages and how bad they are. Trae Young, I'm sorry. You can't be a top player in the league and shooting 42% on the season. Like, you can't. You cannot. Have to be more efficient. And I'm not picking this game against, I mean, they could switch a bunch of guys. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus. They're both decent defenders. Don't let him get hot and Jimmy Butler take the matchup. Then he's really gonna have a hand in his face all the time. Like I'm really good on Trae Young today, yo.
Yeah, Nick pointing out can't trust the Heat team, but he does like Trae Young 6 assists and Clint Capella rebounds in this game. And then LG asking Jimmy Butler over 5.5 for rebounds in this game. You have any thoughts on that one, Terrell?
I don't know, because I think he's gonna be battling with Clint Capella, John Collins, Okongwu. Like it's a lot of guys to be fighting for rebounds with down there. He could get it, but it's not nothing I'm handicapping.
Yeah, he's kind of been inconsistent as far as reboundings. But if you want to pivot for a player prop on Jimmy Butler, let me see what his steals are at tonight.
That's what I was about to say. His steals feels like the play. He had 2 steals in that last game. Going down the list and looking at the games before that, he had another 2 in a previous game before that. What was that and he didn't even play that other game against them. So
yeah, I mean,
2 games this season, he has 2 steals.
Yeah, last 7 career games against the Hawks, 6 out of the 7 he's had at least 2 steals. That number right now is at 1.5 at minus 135. So yeah, if you want to Jimmy Butler pop, yeah, that's a pretty good price.
And then
for Jimmy Butler, what else?
No, that's it. I was gonna get cute and do steals and blocks, but no, we'll just take the minus 135 and have a good day.
All right. Let's get over to the next game of the night. We have the Toronto Raptors in the Mile High City to take on the Denver Nuggets in this game. Looking at the opening line for this game, the Denver Nuggets opened up as a 7-point favorite. That number's now been bet down to minus 6.5. Total opened up at 227.5. The number's been bet up to around 229.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams. For the Toronto Raptors, pretty clean injury report as far as their main guys. Yeah, nobody really of significance on there. For the Denver Nuggets, Thomas Bryant is probable here tonight. And Zeke Naji is out for the Denver Nuggets, but that is pretty much it. So pretty healthy squads here between the Raptors and the Denver Nuggets. Terrell, let's start with the side here, my man. Minus 6.5 in favor of the Denver Nuggets. What are you thinking?
I mean, I had this one circled. I'm not going to lie. I did, because Toronto has played this team tough all year long. They, what was it earlier this season when did they just play them and got a win in Denver? That was earlier? When was that? That was
Toronto,
last year.
You're talking about?
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, so last year, that was what it was last year. So last year, you have a 1-point loss against Denver in Toronto. You have a win outright in Denver. And now you have Jakob. And you have somebody that can actually rebound the ball and contest Jokic for rebounds. Like, that was really the big thing with what this matchup was that they really didn't have anybody that, well, you're not going to stop Jokic offensively. I just don't think that they have the personnel to stop him offensively. But rebounding the basketball and not letting yourself getting killed on the boards by Jokic, by Aaron Gordon, now you're throwing Jakob into that handicap. And I think that that's worth a point or two. Like, I really do. I think that Jakob could come in here and have a very, very good day on the boards, and just being able to make it a slightly harder for Jokic to just go out there and get these easy rebounds, maybe give them a second chance point here or there. I think this is a fun matchup, and I think Toronto just kind of has their number. I'm going Toronto, and I'm gonna take the 6.5.
Toronto has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've won 3 out of the last 5 games, but if you kind of just look at some of the game logs here, in the losses, I know they had a 10-point loss in there, but another loss, they only lost by 1 in Toronto. Beyond 2020, I think obviously there's a roster change for the Denver Nuggets, but yeah, you're right, man. They play each other pretty close. Denver has made me money this season. I'm not gonna lie, but This just does feel like a little bit of a stretch at 7. Was it 6.5? I mentioned for the spread.
Let me see. I'm looking at one more thing, but it's just more of I'm just thinking about when you think about guarding inside the perimeter, not inside the perimeter, but inside the paint, and how these two teams go to work inside the paint. Who are you really afraid of rim protection for the Denver Nuggets? And so if you don't have that rim protection, Pascal Siakam, he can get going. For Van Fleet, he can get going. Scotty Barnes, don't let Scotty Barnes have a good day. That's just adding to just the level of scoring in this game. I think that we could get a high scoring game in this one. I'm not gonna lie. I think Toronto keeps this close. They've been playing this team tough for the past couple of years. No matter what the situation was, we saw how Toronto was looking last year, and they are able to still keep this game competitive. This is what I was looking for. Opponents' points in the paint for the Denver Nuggets. They are towards the bottom of the league, 24th in the NBA, 56 points in the paint per game in the last 5 games. Yeah, I'm taking Toronto, and I'm sprinkling on the money line. I think this is a high-scoring affair, and this is going to be a fun game.
Yeah, Denver at home this season. They've been really good, right? 22-10-1 against the spread. They're 20-10-1 as a home favorite. Toronto on the road has been respectable. 11-9 as a road underdog are the Toronto Raptors, but when they're favored on the road, it's not very good for them. They're 2-10 against spread, but obviously being an underdog here in Denver, I'll lean with Toronto. I don't love it. Yeah, I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I would go Toronto. But let's move over to the total here. Terrell currently sitting at 229. Seen money come in on the over. Has moved about 1.5, 2 points here on the total. But what do you got for the total here?
I'm going over.
Okay.
I'm taking over in this game. You sit here, we have another non-conference over spot, but this one, all non-conference overs aren't the same. So we were talking about Portland and Detroit earlier, and Detroit 13-13. Portland was 9-15. Now you look at this spot, and you have two teams that are top 5 in terms of their record towards the non-conference over system. Denver 13-7, 65%. Toronto 15-9, 62.5%. These two teams, when they see teams in opposite conference, they are absolutely going to carve each other up. And I don't think either of these teams have the personnel necessary to stop the other. I think this is a huge high-scoring affair. So, yeah, I'm all over the over in this game.
Raptors non-conference games on the road this season, 8-3-1 towards the over. The Denver Nuggets non-conference games at home this season, I think I saw it was 6-3-1. Yeah, 6-3-1. So both teams, like Terrell mentioned, their non-conference games,
and you're still getting it under 230. Like I like your chances. You're still getting the number under 230.
Yeah, 6-3-1 towards the over in non-conference games at home for the Denver Nuggets, averaging around 235.2 points per game. So, I'm with you on the over in this game as well. I think this will definitely be a good offensive game. I think. I know these teams don't really play with a lot of pace, but I
just think that the half court sets that they do have are going to be very efficient. Like they're going to be. If I sat here and we went out of this game and both teams were near 50% from the field, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think they're going to be very efficient in the looks that they do get.
Yep. Player props in this game.
Let's go back. Like I told you earlier, Jacopoto. I think Jacopoto he's going to have a really good day on the boards if they're going to keep this close. He's going to have to. And so I like him to have a very, very good rebounding day. Who else do we have out here? Does Scotty Barnes have a good day today?
I think Siakam could probably have a good day. I mean, it's a huge statement.
I saw somebody say Siakam 2 threes. I think that's especially if he's able to pull Aaron Gordon outside of the paint and force him to guard on the perimeter where he's really not the most comfortable. I like that. Definitely
Siakam
pretty
last two
good score.
games against Denver, 33 and 35.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's because who's stopping him? Like who's stopping him on the inside?
I mean, maybe Aaron Gordon in a matchup, but then I'd maybe pivot to I think Fred VanVleet threes are probably an opportunity here tonight. He's hit.
I can't bet Fran VanVleet, man. I can't. What is he shooting on the year? I'm curious on what he's shooting on the year.
On the year, he's shooting 34% from 3-point land, which is not very good, but he definitely jacks him up, Terrell. I'll say that much. He definitely jacks him up.
He's 39.1% on the season. I'm
From
not
the
betting.
floor. That's from the floor.
Well, okay.
That's pretty bad.
That's worse than Trey. That is worse than Trey. Like I can't bet Fred VanVleet because I don't know. Is this gonna be Fred VanVleet 1 for 10 day or is this gonna be Fred VanVleet 9 for 10 day? Like I just can't bet Fred VanVleet. He's actually officially in my no bet list for me. I just can't.
Let's see what his threes are at. Let me see.
I'd rather take a chance on freaking Gary Trent. I would much rather take
That's a good
chance
look.
on Gary Trent.
That's all right. So let's see here. Threes for Van Vliet are 2.5 minus 155. Gary Trent's at 1.5 at minus 180. Maybe you could buy up Gary Trent to 2.5 and see if you get the plus odds on that. They don't have it out yet, but unless you see it.
No, I don't see his number. I'm just looking at his oh wait. I'm over here. Buckets. It's not buckets, it's nuggets. All right, let's see here. What are you doing against them? Oh, you're not shooting that well against them, actually, in your recent games.
Fred VanVleet last two games against the Denver Nuggets, 5 of 9 from 3, and then 6 of 11 from 3. Just throwing it out there.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not doing it, but I get it, and I do think that is a good look. It's just, oh my god, like if I bet on him and he goes 2 for 14, I'm gonna be pissed off. Like I'm really gonna be pissed off. So I can't do it.
Jokic triple double tonight, I think, is -1. Yeah, minus 120 here tonight.
What's the price for him not to get a triple double?
Even money, or minus 110.
It's going to be a lot of points, so I think the assists are going to be there.
But yeah, I think maybe rebounds and assists might be worth a look.
But yeah, Jacoberto could challenge him on. I don't think he challenges him enough where he doesn't get 10 boards though.
No, he'll get his 10.
He probably gets this triple double. Like
22.5 is rebounds and assists for him tonight for Jokic. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, last game of the night here. Let's get over to the New Orleans Pelicans in Sacramento here tonight to take on the Kings. Looking at the opening line for this game, the Sacramento Kings open up as a 6-point home favorite. That number's now been bet down to -5. Looking at the injury report for both of these squads, for the Pelicans, Jose Alvarado, Larry Nance Jr., Josh Richardson are all out here tonight, as well as Zion, of course. Jonas Valanciunas is officially questionable here tonight. He's dealing with a left calf contusion. For the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox is questionable here tonight. He has left hamstring soreness, and Rashawn Holmes is questionable as well, non-COVID related illness. So let's start with the side here. Let's call it -5 in favor of the Kings hosting the Pelicans.
Like the beam.
Like the beam for sure.
Yeah, I like the beam. I'm not, I just got to the point where, granted, I got them in a really good spot against Portland. I did. Other than that, why am I taking the Pelicans on the road?
They can't score, man.
Like, there's no point in me taking them on the road. And I guess maybe this line is coming down because all the questionables De'Aaron Fox being questionable, I guess that's worth half a point and a possibility that he doesn't play. But what inclines me to really just sit here and take the Pelicans on the road? They don't. What is it? 11-22 now.
Pelicans on the road against a spread 12-20-1. They are 7-15-1 as road underdogs.
And 11-22 straight up. Like,
Meanwhile, the Sacramento Kings as a home favorite, 17-7.
I really. How many home games do they got left? All right, let's
Kings.
see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's road 5, 6. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 home games left. I think there's a good chance that they're really just like trying to limp themselves into the play-in and then just bring Zion back for the playing game.
Oh, yeah, for the Pelicans, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if we just fade them on the road the rest of the season, we're gonna come out on top. Like I really am hard pressed because they're right there. It's not like that they're trying to chase. Like they're right
Mhm.
there. They just got to hold serve. It's not like they got to do much. They don't have to go on an 8-win streak, 5-game win streak or nothing. Just hold serve and live into the play in. I'm really hard pressed to think that this team does anything on the road, like really tries to do anything on the road. And then you have this Sacramento team that has everything to play for. They're playing for everything. They're playing the end of fucking 20-year drought or whatever it is. Like they
Yeah.
have everything to play for the rest of the season. They're playing for the coach Mike Brown, coach of the year. They're playing for DeAndre DeAndre Fox, clutch player of the year, whatever.
Mhm.
Like they're playing for awards, they're playing for the playoffs, they're playing to make sure that they stay one of these top 3 seeds because you got freaking the Suns breathing down your neck. You got Golden State trying to breathe down your neck. You got Memphis who is falling. And so you can potentially be the 2 seed because you're not going to see Ja for at least this next game and
Yeah.
probably games before that.
Mhm.
Sacramento has a lot to still play for. And I think that you could see it in their style of play, whereas New Orleans just seems like they're limping. Like every time you watch them play, it just seems like they're limping to the playoffs and just trying to make the play in. I can't back a team like that on the road. I'm back on Sacramento.
This is a revenge spot for Sacramento as well. They got smacked when they went down to New Orleans, 136-104 in that game. So a little bit of revenge spot here for the Sacramento Kings. And that was a game they didn't have Brandon Ingram and Zion in that game where they just had a great shooting night, did the New
Mhm.
Orleans Pelicans. So, the second game here in their building in Sacramento, looking for some revenge here after they got beat up by 32 points, 136-104 in a matchup in New Orleans. But yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% spot on about fading the Pelicans on the road so far, or fading them right now, and then when they get back home, maybe that's when they start getting some victories.
Yeah,
But
like if half of the games are at home and half of the games on the road, you're
yeah,
sitting there just thinking to yourself, all right, if we can hold serve at home, then if we drop a few games at the road, it'd be cool. But I don't know. Especially if DeAndre Fox plays in this game, I'm just hard pressed to see the Kings losing this one. And this line's short enough where I feel comfortable with a couple of free throws that they're able to cover this.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a opposite result in Sacramento where they win 136-104. Or I mean,
Yeah.
Pelicans they're not scoring right now, man. I think that's just going to be their demise right now. For them right now. All right, so let's get over to the total here, Terrell. That number is sitting at 237 right now. Any thoughts on that? It did open up at 239, but now it's been bet down to 237.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the over, and just because I think that a lot of the looks that the Kings are going to get in this game are going to be high percentage looks. If you look at their last 5 games, they are scoring 60.8 points inside the paint. That's second in the NBA. And that is a question mark for the New Orleans Pelicans. If you look at this New Orleans Pelicans and how this New Orleans Pelicans team and how they're constructed, they guard a lot better out on the perimeter. They really don't have those rim protector guys. Like they have
Yeah.
big bodies down low, but not really rim protectors. And so I think that that's a good opportunity for Sabonis to have a really good game. Really good opportunity for Murray to go in and get himself some easy buckets on the inside instead of having to shoot a bunch of threes and trying to get his points on the outside of the perimeter. For him to post somebody up and be able to score in the post up or be able to get a nice look at the basket inside. So yeah, I like that. I think I like the Kings team total over more than the
Yes,
over
that's what I was
for
going
the
to say.
game.
Yeah, I agree about that. That was going to be the total look in this play was Kings over team total. Number one offensive rated team after the All-Star break, 129.4. And then the Pelicans defensively, they are, where are you, Pelicans? number 16. So a little right at or a little below league average, but I just trust, yeah, even without Fox here tonight, I still think that like you mentioned, Sabonis should have a big night, especially if Valanciunas is not going to be able to go. He's officially questionable. And again, Sacramento, despite them being number one offensive rating, they're number 30, dead last in defensive rating over the since the All-Star break, I should say. So yeah, full game over if you want to go with Kings team total over. I think yeah, both of those plays I agree with. Player props, Terrell, what are we looking at?
I kind of alluded to it. Points inside the paint for Sacramento Kings have been plentiful, and so I think that this could be a very good game for Sabonis. His points prop is at 20.5. I think that he can go over in this game. Keegan Murray, 11.5. I think that I'm really selling myself on Keegan Murray today. Like I really sold myself on Keegan Murray today. And just thinking that one, he's a really big, like he's a big, he's not a small guy. And so got to think Herb Jones probably going to take on that matchup, maybe end up guarding him a little bit, probably might end up on Harrison Barnes as well. But I'm just looking at those extra guys outside of Fox, outside of Sabonis, and Murray is a guy that I just kept gravitating towards all day today. It's only at 11.5. 15 is plus money.
Okay.
And so I think I'm gonna do like a little mini louder with Keegan Murray today and just say that Keegan Murray has a really good day where he's able to post guys up down low and just be able to get, those buckets that he was getting at Iowa. You don't really get to see that in the NBA too much. One, because you have Fox and Sabonis and Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes on your team. So you're really not the guy that they're looking to in that moment. But I think that this is a really good matchup for him where he can kind of get those switches, get that matchup, and get some easy buckets for himself.
Yeah, I was looking at Kevin Huerter, like you mentioned. He's had 29, 18, and 20 over his last 3 games. But again, they've all been very, very high scoring. Obviously, like I mentioned, Sacramento dead last in defensive rating. Harrison Barnes is another guy that has been pretty good for this Kings team. Last 3 games, he's had 20 plus points, 20, 20, and 29. See his points prop right now at 15.5. So if you want to look at those 2 guys, but yeah, this should be a good matchup here tonight for the Kings going up against this Pelicans team. You have anything else for this game?
No. I think I'm straight. Just going back to the Keegan Murray thing as well. He averages 13.1 points per game at home. So he's a lot better player at home than on the road where he had 2 points in his last matchup. So I think that this is a nice bounce back spot for him.
Yep. All right. So before we get into our lock and dog, let me tell everyone about the newest sponsor again on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That is going to be Shady Rays. Look, summertime is coming up, guys. We're all going to need those sunglasses, whether you're going on vacation or you just need a new pair. It's been a while since you've bought yourself some new sunglasses, and Shady Rays, the newest sponsor, they've got you covered. They're an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And like I mentioned, if you lose or break your pair, even on the day that you get them from Shady Rays, they'll send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you make that purchase. And with Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fighting hunger with Feeding America. So not only are they making you look good, they're also doing a lot of great work by donating meals to the Feeding America organization. So definitely check them out right now. Go to shadyrays.com, use promo code SGPN. You'll get 50% off if you order 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, 50% off using promo code SGPN when you buy 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. But it's only over at shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN. Try for yourself. Rated 5 stars by over 200,000 users. Again, shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN. All right, Terrell, let's get into our lock and dog for this Monday schedule. I think we got to change the mojo a little bit because the last 2 Mondays I have not been very good with my picks. So I'll lead it off here, and then you can close it out strong here for us. For my lock here tonight, I think I'm going to go with a player prop. I really do like James Harden's matchup here tonight against the Pacers here tonight. He's been playing great basketball. See that number currently at 22.5 for James Harden. Again, if both Tobias Harris and or BJ Tucker, more so defensively, but I think this game may just turn into a shootout as it has in the first two games between these two teams, where Sixers have put up 120 plus points in both of the matchups, like I mentioned. And again, James Harden in those two games, 29 points, 26 points. And over his last several games here, he's been playing really well for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's averaging 25.8 points over the last 5 games, and he's gone over this projection of 22.5 in 3 straight games. Shooting the 3-ball well as well. Dishing out the assists like we talked about. So should be a big game for James Harden tonight. I'll go over 22.5 points for Harden. For my dog, give me the Atlanta Hawks +3 on the spread and, of course, on the money line here. That number currently over on WinBet. It's at +125. Talked about how DeJounte Murray and Trae Young just didn't play very good in that Saturday matchup where they combined 0 of 10 from three-point land. I think they were 5 of 27 from the floor combined. So even if I get one of those to have a better game here tonight, more so I think DeJounte Murray. I think, Terrell also mentioned that the Lynx should give problems to the Miami Heat here tonight. And we also throw out that tidbit by Vegas Insider guy Joe Osborne, where they haven't covered in consecutive games in that second game after they have covered a previous game 0-7 against the spread. So a lot of things pointing towards in Atlanta's direction here tonight. Take the +3, +125, and expect them to cut down that lead to half a game in that Southeast division against the Miami Heat. So lock James Harden over 22.5 points. Dog Atlanta Hawks +125, +3 against the Miami Heat. Terrell, what do you got?
All right. I am trying not to go in the same game here, but I think I'm sticking to the same game for both of these picks. Yeah, I think I am. Or I can just go and back the... No, matter of fact, I won't go stick to the same game because that's lame. All right, so for my lock, let me get a number on it so I can give out the proper number that I'm about to bet. I'm going to the Kings team total over against the Pelicans, just fading the Pelicans, fading that defense of the Pelicans on the road. Kings, like you said, one of the best offensive teams, not only after the All-Star break, but for the entire season. And so I'm getting their team total tonight versus the Pelicans at 121.5. Slightly large, not enough for them. I'll take my chances. I like the Kings to get it done over 121.5. And for my dog, I mean, it doesn't happen often, but I like the matchup. And they've won here last year. So I'll take not the Pelicans. I'll take the Raptors. Raptors 2-1. I will take the Raptors 2-1 to get it done. I'm on the money line. I like the 6.5. I like to see the line movement that I'm getting. I think that Toronto can score with Denver today, because Denver, again, not guarding inside the paint. That's where Toronto likes to go to work. If I get a good Fred VanVleet day, then I'm probably not sweating this at all. If I don't get a good Fred VanVleet day, I'm probably going to be right there for it. So almost just went back to back in this game and took the over and Toronto, but I'll just take Toronto 2-1. But I do like that over.
All right, those are our picks. So locks again, James Harden over 22.5 for myself. Lock for Terrell, Sacramento Kings team total over 121. And then for our dogs, I'm going with the Atlanta Hawks +125. And then Terrell is taking the Raptors +200.
I think a money line round robin seems appropriate. Raptors, Hawks, Pistons. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with it.
Should I make the Pistons? What am I getting? Am I getting 2-1 on the Pistons too? Oh no, I'm getting
close to it, but not as much.
I'm getting +25. Nah, I'll take the one. I'm greedy. I'll take the one. Even though I do like Pistons, I'll take the one that I'm getting more.
A money line parlay of those 3 teams here tonight is close to 18-1.
Okay,
not too bad. All right, that's going to do it for this Monday edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast. Terrell, anything else we want to mention before we get out of here, my man?
One, if you haven't, go like the video on YouTube. Appreciate, that helps our algorithm and that helps us grow. And I'm trying to help grow our audience as well. We be hitting the 60s, we be hitting the 60s of people watching at the same time. But when I be on the college experience, they be in like 150 on Saturday, and I'd be like, holy crap! All of you guys love college basketball, so now we got to hurry up and try to go beat them. So that's the next margin to get more listenership during the live stream than they do. So we have that. We also have two guys who really did want to fight for real this weekend, in Devin Booker and Luka Doncic. And Devin Booker has been a repeat offender, as we already know. He's really he just wants to talk, and it's fine. It's fine. Kyrie told him, literally said word for word, bro, you just want to talk. Like, that's it. Just go. You got the win. Just head on out. But Luka got in his face, and somehow they ended up laughing. I don't know how many times somebody has gotten in my face like that, and I'm laughing at them. But they ended up laughing at each other, and so it is what it is. A little bit of front running going on by the Suns. Again, the Suns are about to go on the most villainous streak ever. Like, they're about to go through here and probably start running through the league. And unfortunately, they can back up what they're saying, but they just choose not to say it till the end of the game when they're up 2 points.
Yeah, that was funny. When Luka went up to him, they just started laughing at each other. I was like, that's when they really hit each other, when they're laughing, and then it gets really extreme.
No, Luka's gonna give them 50. If they play in the playoffs, Luka's giving them a 50 piece. I'm fairly confident that he's giving them 50 the next time he sees them.
That was the last matchup of the regular season too, wasn't it?
It was. Unfortunately, it was. And so gotta hope for a 4-5, 3-6 matchup, because I really don't know how long the Mavericks are gonna make it if they don't turn around defensively. I'm hoping they turn it around, but I'm also this looks really bad, guys.
Yeah. So hopefully, we get that matchup in the playoffs. All right. That's gonna do it again. Make sure to hit that like button for us. Like Terrell said, just helps us grow the show. We'll be back tomorrow as usual for the NBA Gambling Podcast. Till then, good luck with your picks. Let's break these books off and let it ride.